Hey, everybody, and thank you for joining us here on the In the Money Players podcast. As you know, I am not Peter Thomas. I am Michelle Yu instead, here to host today because Pete's probably on vacation somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where he is, so you're stuck with me. We are going to be covering the late pick 5 at Del Mar for Saturday, as well as the late pick 4 over at Woodbine. If you are looking for Saratoga content, though, we do have a little bit coming for you. Pete is actually going to be doing 2 live shows Saturday morning, and those will be posted as pods, so they'll be coming very shortly. The first one is going to take place actually on track at 9:15 near the Dunkin' Donuts with special guest professional horse player Duke Matisse. And then at 10:30, Naomi Tucker will be over at the Brentwood talking more about the Saturday card, and you can head over there live as well. There's going to be some Bloody Marys made with the Albany Distilling Company vodka and Toma Bloody Mary mix, and there's also going to be free bagels. I mean, they're like, Michelle, can you do this show? I'm like, sure. I don't get Bloody Marys. I don't get bagels. And then it's like, oh, Naomi, you got to do bagels and Bloody Marys. I mean, where's my mimosas, guys? Holy cannoli. All right. Well, any Hoosiers. So looking at Saratoga content, that's what you guys have coming up on Saturday, a couple of live shows. But today, like I said, we're going to talk about Del Mar. I am here on site right now, and I'm super lucky to be joined by Scotty McKeever of Equinedge. This is going to be a special promotion, by the way, that we'll be talking about as well for this summer, only for our listeners. Anyone who is a new Equinedge user, you get the service absolutely free for a whole month. It's perfect timing because there's about a month left of the Del Mar meet. Just use the code free money on the sign up page. Go to equinedge.com/free money. So Scotty, thank you first of all for joining me. Second of all, for giving all of our listeners and viewers a free way to play. And I'm looking forward to making some money today.
Yeah, it's going to be these cards are really tough, Michelle, and they've been tough. Usually it's Saratoga that has all these tough cards, but right. I'll tell you what, Del Mar being full fields, horses coming in from all over the country, and I'll tell you what, they've been really, really tough. It's been really a lot of fun. I found some good prices throughout the meet, and that's the important thing. Don't take favorites at this time. I wouldn't do that, especially when these fields are tough. No, there's no reason to take favorites.
I agree with you. So let's take a look at the card. Again, this is the Saturday card. The late pick 5 will kick off in race number 7. I have found one thing to be very clear throughout this meet, Scotty, and that is that it is super hard to find a single for me.
So hard. The singles have been tough to come by. Maybe here in this race number 7, this horse has been off a layoff for Mark Glatt. Mark Glatt's been on fire. Escape Route is top Scotty pick, top win percentage, has a really good GSR. Matter of fact, the top GSR. So, and also the top SOR. So there's 4 metrics pointing towards the 7 horse who should get a good trip at the 6 furlong distance. And this horse has raced at Del Mar before and actually broke his maiden. So his 3-year-old colt might be decent. So for Gary and Mary West. So take Escape Route.
I think it's funny that you say like Mark Glatt's having a bang up meet, which is true. But then you look, he's only won 4. That is exactly how tough this meet is at Del Mar right now. Like, except for Peter Miller, who's won like 70, which I think he's actually only won 10, to be honest with you.
10.
10, right? But you feel like Peter Miller wins like 8 a day. And it's just like so spread out. It's probably the most competitive meet I've seen in a while, to be honest.
It's awesome. It's fantastic. So that's why with our win percentages, they're saying that this race is all about the 7 horse top Scotty pick. So I haven't seen that very often. Usually the metrics aren't lining up, so they're all over the place. So that's why I'm thinking that maybe the 7 could be the horse to play. And so I'm going to single this horse starting this pick 5. Yeah.
Now, because I'm allergic to singles, I'm breaking out in hives as we speak about it. You got to tell me about 2 other horses that I like in here. The first one is First Prez for Doug O'Neill. It's the 2 horse taking the class drop down to starter company out of that really tough Cal 20. And he's got recency, which the both Mark Glatt horses don't.
Yeah, and First Prez is a player, draws on the inside. This horse, I'm not sure if this horse can rate. It seems like the best race this horse had was 2 back on the turf. And this one has it just seems like this horse has burnt money. Going to get an inside trip, going to get a good trip. Certainly deserves a look, but I do worry that this horse has burned a little bit of money.
All right. Fast forwarding then to race number 8, going to be a 1 1/16 turf event here at Del Mar. It's an allowance optional claiming event. It's our first level allowance. $40,000 is the optional claiming price, and there actually are 2 horses in here for the price. So Much Happy for Mark Glatt, who was a clear winner against 35 non-3 last time out, and then the outside horse Miss Flawless for Leo Powell, also in here for the tag. So Scotty, when we're looking at this, Do you take that into consideration that there are horses in for the tag, and so they've already cleared the condition?
I do. Yeah, that's definitely a factor. I'm really like though this Zydeco Mama. I think this horse is not in for the tag, obviously, and they're protecting this horse. And horses don't win very often, maybe 5 to 10% of the time when they break their maiden. But I think that's going to change here because I just don't think that this 4-year-old filly's catching many horses. So 4-year-old with only 3 lifetime races, did win last time out on the turf going 8 furlongs. Clearly, this horse wants turf. Ran a good race. Keith Sormo. Edwin Maldonado's aboard, has a 34% chance of winning. Scotty, a top pick as well. So, and then also top GSR. So there's another race here in this 8th race where 3 of these metrics are lining up. So I think that this horse can run a good race. The other horse that might run really good here for John Sheriffs and Victor Espinosa is this 2-horse England's Rose. So I like those 2 horses only, 2 and 3, but 3 on top.
Okay, well, what do you do with the Baltus first time in the U.S. horse Luck for Ellen-J. Foxwoods? Gets first time Lasix here. My drawback to her is obviously all of her good races have come on synthetic and not on grass. Her lone bad race was on grass, but it was also on soft ground and was going a lot further. Like, does she have any kind of a look in here?
Yeah, she does. Rispoli gets off of the 8 and 9. I didn't think those 2 horses were contenders anyways, but Luck certainly deserves a look. Seems to compete on figures here with our SOR, our strength of race. Umberto's cold right now. I think he's in his head anyway. So I've been trying to play against him, but my 4th horse is the 4-horse Luck.
Okay, good to know. At least I'm not completely off kilter.
No,
I would feel really bad if I'm like, hey, I love this horse, and you're like, 0 chance.
Yeah, no, that's not the case there. And Baltus, of course, on the turf, he's just so dangerous, and he's got this horse ready. I guarantee you, because when Baltus puts a horse, he's got this horse ready, and you can see this horse has been training here at least since June. Mm-hmm. So you have to figure this horse is ready to go. So the Luck deserves a big look, but this Zydeco Mama, this 3-horse can run. I think she's got a future. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, I knew I played her last time, I think she was like 12-1 or something, but she was awesome because when we saw her as a first time starter, she looked like her typical De Sormo. She's big and long with a big old head, and you just saw and you thought this horse wants to go long. So last time out, she was a lock for me. And
not only that, too, think about this. First of all, our mean of maiden races is 50. Mm-hmm. So that was a 56 group on the SOR, our strength of race. But here's what was more impressive. At 17-1, this horse broke from the 12-hole, Michelle, and won that race going away. That's very impressive. So she seems to be able to, I think she's going to be able to handle beating winners for the first time. It doesn't catch a particularly good field. Just depends how good the 4-horse Luck is going to be. The 2-horse England's Rose for John Sheriffs, he just seems to spot his horses perfectly, but it's really tough to come from so far behind, and England's Rose does not have a lot of speed. So I'm going to go with Zydeco Mama, the 3.
Here's a fun fact for you. I had to look it up. Zydeco is actually a Cajun type of music. Did you know that?
I did not know that, no.
Now you know. The more you know, Scotty. I put a wrinkle in your brain right now.
Well, I'm always going to learn something from you, Michelle. I know.
All right, going to race number 9. One of the features on the card is the Grade 2 Best Pal. It's 6 furlongs for 2-year-olds. We won this race last year, so it's got a special place in my heart now. We don't have a horse in here this year, but I think, in my opinion, the race goes through Bet on Mookie.
So Bet on Mookie is the Scotty long shot in here, has a lot of speed. You can't be far back on this surface to win. I mean, you maybe 5 lengths back. This horse is going to be on the lead. I think my concern is I don't know how fast the 3-horse is, Papa Cap. This horse showed going gate to wire last time out, winning for fun over at Gulfstream Park. Joe Bravo jumps aboard, has our top win percentage at 29%. Not big, and also is a top Scotty pick. Has a decent GSR. Bet on Mookie does too, and might be this good. Phineas, how about Phineas? Phineas, this horse won last time out, and
Calbreds,
right? And Calbred for sure, and so that's true. That's a good point. The Florida bred Papa Cap. That I think the race is wide open, to be honest with you. So I haven't made up my mind who I'm going to key in on, but I'm leaning more towards the 3-horse Papa Cap.
What about Olympic Legend? Because that's the other horse I wanted to use in here. We all know how good Mendez is as far as his prowess goes with juveniles. This horse debuted in the Bet on Mookie winning race, but that was on the grass, and he kind of like out the turn. So I can give him a pass for that. He did come back to win at Los Alamitos. It was a compact field, but I feel like these horses are generally keyed and ready to go. And he's been working really well here. Like from the outside, he might just get a really good trip. I just don't know if he's fast enough.
Well, he went gate to wire going 5 furlongs. What I don't like is that was an easier maiden group based on our strength of race, and it was losing ground at the end and barely hanging on. It could be tighter here, but third race now, and there's some speed in here, and this horse just might be the need the lead type of horse. I think it's going to be very difficult for this horse to win this race.
All right, check him out. Excellent. The other feature on the card is race number 10. It is the Grade 2 Yellow Ribbon, mile and a 16th on the Always Firm turf course out here. You can't say that when you're talking about other racetracks, but here, yes. Looking at this race, there are some big names that jump out to you. I think notably Charmaine's Mia. Obviously, a lot of people know Dog Tag, Keeper of the Stars, Maxim Rate, Laura's Light. These are all very competitive stakes type horses in Southern California. I don't really know if any of them are going to win, though. I can't wait to hear what you're going to say about this.
Oh, well, I'm a big fan of Princess Grace, second off the layoff the 8 horse. Yeah, I love Princess Grace in here. I really think this horse is going to get a great trip, has a wonderful GSR of 78. Fantastic. I think Dog Tag is a horse you have to look at. The of course, Charmaine's Mia, the 3 horse, is a horse that's live in here. Dog Tag, if you look at this horse, I mean, this one 2 back ran in a Grade 2 and barely lost. So you really, when you look at a race like this, when you look at graded races, look at the horses that if they're like, you're talking about Princess Grace is a Grade 2 winner, won by 2 3/4 lengths. Now, didn't run great in that Grade 3 race, but that was off of a layoff, long layoff, right? 8 months, and still found a way to win that race. That's a really good sign. Running for a nice purse of 200,000. I think Princess Grace is going to be your winner. Maximum Rate is a horse that you're going to have to beat too. Very consistent, won the Gamely last time out. And this one is good enough to get up. I really do think, though, the race is about the 8 and 9, Princess Grace and Maxim Rate. I think it's those 2 horses.
I'll tell you what, I wanted to check out Charmaine's Mia completely because we showed last time, in my opinion, that she doesn't want to go farther, right? I mean, this is a little bit shorter than 9 furlongs, but overall, I think that she's just better as a miler. But that last work for her, even though it looked slow on paper, the 103 and change, obviously it was around the dogs. She looked amazing on the gallop. I was actually on the backside that day. We were shooting the works for XB, and the fog was so bad that none of the works were able to be used. But I could see her clearly. So I saw her breaking off and starting her work, and then I saw her finish, and she looked like she could have gone around again. So I'm just saying that if she's going to get beat here, it's not for lack of fitness. She looked sensational galloping out from that. And I really wanted to use Raimundo's Secret in here because I think the distance is going to be good for her.
Yeah, well, and yes, you're absolutely right about that. The GSR is very good. If Charmaine's Mia loses, it's only going to be because of 8.5 furlongs. That's it. Right. She's nice. There's no question. She lost last time in the Gamely just because of the distance, and she was the favorite. She's something else. She is. But 8.5 might get her beat, and there's some nice horses in here. So, my third horse is the 3 horse for sure. And Raimundo's Secret, this one, as I'm looking closer here, this one seems to need the lead as well, and that's where she fires her best usually. She's come from behind tactically against easier horses, but against better horses, she's been on the lead most of the time. She can rate a little bit, but this is a much tougher field. I don't see, and she's not going to the lead, and if she does, she's going to get pressed by the 3 horse Charmaine's Mia. So I don't think that this race plays out well for Raimundo's Secret.
All right. Another chuck 'em out. You're making my ticket so much cheaper, Scotty. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Good.
Let's go forward to the finale at Del Mar for Saturday. It's got to be the maiden 20. Those are some of our toughest races here. Like last week, we ran in a maiden 20, right? Entered in the race were a Bob Baffert, a Richard Mandela, and a Simon Callahan dropping out of maiden special weight. It's like, this is supposed to be the bottom level to run in. You're not supposed to have some of the top trainers in the nation in your maiden 20, but at Del Mar, that is exactly what happens, and it makes the maiden 20s even harder than they already are.
Oh, but I think I'm going to give you a single right now, and that's Uncaged Kitty. Yeah, Uncaged Kitty, the 12 horse. Horrible start last time out. I mean, absolutely horrible. Rushed up and still hung in there, ran big. And now gets a good post with a good weighted, by the way, too. Had a ton of trouble for Andy Mathis. Ricardo Gonzalez is aboard. I think the 12 horse Uncaged Kitty is going to be very, very tough to beat in here. I really do.
Okay, so I used Uncaged Kitty, but I couldn't single. I also liked, I'm intrigued by My Tigress, even though like Javier Sierra doesn't really win too many races just because she was right behind a couple of these. But what about Sweet and Cheeky for Mark Glatt? I mean, that's another one. They claimed her last time for bottom level on the turf. They're going to drop her down to, maiden 20 here. The only time she's run on dirt before, she ran third against Special Weight Company.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now, that was an easier group from at Low Sal for sure, but no doubt ran good. Has a lower GSR here at 58, draws the rail, which has not been a good place to be, but does drop from 50,000 on the turf down to this 20,000 level. This is the right level for the horse. Gonna need a good trip. There's 12 horses in this race. Sweet and Cheeky is my second pick, no doubt about it, but gonna have to get the trip.
I feel like we can play this ticket together, Scotty, and not hate each other at the end.
For sure. We're always going to fight about something, you and I, for sure.
I'll find something to fight about just because I like to fight, right?
You're just going to go, no matter what I choose, you're just going to go the opposite just to make a case for it or just be different. That's how you do it.
That is exactly how I roll. 100%. If you picked my horse, I would talk you off and try to put on something else just for argument's sake. I like to be a contrarian. Okay, Scotty?
I know you do. I love that about you, though. I'll tell you, the Scotty Longshot is the 3-horse My Tigress. The only thing, this horse can run, no question. You know, the only negative for me is 3 times is the favorite, big favorite. This horse is lost. So, but you know what happens? It's like horses like this, that the time all of a sudden this horse goes off at 6 or 7 or 8 to 1 and the son of a gun wins, right? So I'm going to just give him just to watch out for the 3-horse.
Okay. So My Tigress, one that both of us like on there. She does get blinkers put on today for the first time.
Well, and that could make the difference. You're right. I actually missed that. So blinkers added. So thank you.
Javier Sierra. I know what the truth is. You saw Rispoli and you washed your. Oh no, we lost Scotty.
Yeah, I'm definitely worried about Rispoli right now, and the way Rispoli's riding definitely concerns me right now.
All right. So that was a quick peek through of the late pick 5 for Saturday over at Del Mar. Again, anyone that does not know about the Equinedge, first of all, you're missing out. Thank you again, Scotty, for taking the time out today. And look, I just want to make you jealous.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm definitely jealous. Well, that's fantastic view. I'm going to be seeing you soon, though. I'll be there in a few hours.
Excellent. We'll see you here. Cocktails today.
Okay. All right.
All right.
We'll check you later.
Scotty.
Bye.
So, well, thanks so much to Scotty McKeever of Equinedge for taking us through that. That was very fun and exciting. I always like it, too, when, I have horses and then someone that's a really good handicapper backs them up. It makes me feel excited. All right, so we are going to get into Woodbine, but before we do that with Drew Coatney, I just want to remind you guys that we are getting near last call for the Whitney Day Betting Challenge over at Saratoga. It's a $3,000 Whitney Challenge presented by Jack Pocket, and will return all entry fees to the players in the form of cash, NHC seats, and a seat to next year's $10,000 Belmont Stakes Challenge. You can play on track at the spot or online. For more information, you can log on to inthemoneypodcast.com/Naira. All right, now that the housekeeping's out of the way, let's welcome in Drew Coatney so we can talk about Woodbine. I feel like last time we did this, it was really fun. Drew was on vacation at the lake. Let's see where Drew is today.
Yeah,
you're
another
on
vacation.
You're in like the mountains. As we're gonna see a bear
out
walking
in
by.
Montana. I don't. Yeah, they're smoked out a little bit, so you can't really see the mountains that are behind me, but they're there. Proof that we don't actually have a green screen to be my backdrop at all times.
This is still my flex right now. Is I don't have a green screen either.
That's perfect. That'll work.
All I need is a mimosa. I mean, Naomi gets unlimited Bloody Marys and bagels. I get nothing.
We're not asking much. We're not asking much.
I mean, bottomless mimosas in the morning is not too much. At least a coffee with Bailey's, right?
I'll just take the Kentucky roast and just give me some bourbon in my coffee. But yeah, I'm with you.
There we go. All right, let's pop right into this Woodbine segment. It is the late pick 4 on Saturday that runs races 8, 9, 10, and 11, including, I think there's a stakes race in that lineup there as well. Drew, we're going to start with race number 8, 6 furlongs on the all-weather, going 6 furlongs for fillies, an allowance race. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is pretty straightforward with the rail horse, number 1 Pilot Episode. Last out, just going to 6.5 was just a smidgen too far, tending to the hot pace. And today gets that half panel off, the inside draw. There's no real speed, and I think the 4-year still has upside left. So my logical A is the number 1 Pilot Episode, but going with a little price too as an A, as well as number 6 Owens Tour. I think it's just completely unexposed. Last out, got put in tight, ran inefficiently, and was just ranked the entire way down the backstretch for the most part. So today, if they just use Owens Tour Guide speed, could really be anything, and with not much else speed in here at 10-1, you could get a little loose. So I'm going with the 1 and the 6. How about yourself?
I liked the 1, the 6. I also liked the 4, Twirling Faith for Josie Carroll. Was a winner against claiming horses, 2 starts back, but last time out, got back onto the synthetic where she's run okay. It was off of the layoff. I felt like she was kind of like a speed and fade type angle, or at least a press the pace and fade type. So I think second off the little bit of the break for her could really be beneficial. Also, she gets a cut back in distance, which I always love.
Yeah, I'm actually marking that 1 right now for my column. I'll give you credit for that shout.
There we go.
All makes sense.
Neither one of us picked the Mark Cassie.
No, we did not.
I mean, that horse has a logical shot, right? I just feel like this horse, to me, the last 3 of the last 4 times has been like a money burner with no excuse, right? Just kind of runs around there like wah-wah.
Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, that's exactly how I see it as well. Kind of like, can I really make a case to see any upside? And the number 8 Beyond My Budget at 5-2 has just really run those kind of was favored and just couldn't get anything done. And has the workouts in the morning to show it's going to be great, but at the 6 furlong distance, I don't see anything that's going to change my opinion that this one can jump up in performance. So yeah, I'm completely fading the number 8 Beyond My Budget.
Excellent. I feel good now. I feel much more confident going into the next leg, which is a stakes race. It is the Lake Huron, going 5 furlongs on the turf course for 3-year-old colts and geldings. I liked the 2 Forest Survivor and then Dragon's Brew to the outside. So I'm hoping you're going to tell me I'm so smart and right.
You're so smart and right. Don't even use Dragon's Brew. I am just
single.
Cold singled on the number 2 Forest Survivor, because I just don't think any of these others can go with the number 2 Forest Survivor. And at the 5 furlongs on the inner turf, right, I think this one is just going to get a little loose. And you could make an argument, well, hey, look, back on August 30th, this one lost to both All Canadian and Dragon's Brew. Mm-hmm. I think just that was too far for this horse, maybe the wrong distance, as notched best career buyer coming over to the inner turf, which could be a little tricky. So I'm cold singled on the number 2, 8-5. I feel like evens is almost good value for you here on that horse.
I feel nauseous right now. So many singles we're talking about. I'll think about it. I can't guarantee, okay? Because I'm really like a 2-horse per race player.
Oh, that's fun. Hey, but I think you're going to get paid if you do take the 6 or 5, because I think that number 2 Forest Survivor will take all the money. So I think as long as you split the difference and don't take all 3 of the logicals going from the numbers 5, 6, and 2, you're good. But yeah, number 2 for me, cold single.
Fair enough. Moving on to race number 10 and open. Oh, no, not an open. Excuse me. 25 non-winners of 2 life, going 6 furlongs on the synthetic. What do you think?
Yeah, number 6, Rain by Rain, another speed angle play. Moving up into these N2Ls, it's just a hair away from the maiden optional claiming ranks here. So I'm not worried at all. This one's getting to jump up into the conditions, into the N2L at the 6 furlongs, has the speed. And sometimes just in these races, getting the speed is the most important thing. The other horse I will be using is the pulling up the numbers, number 4, Richie's Noble Girl. I think just fits getting a little bit of a drop in the class from the optional claiming ranks into this. We'll have first run at any of the speeds that decide to go. And I think the distance is we're in a Goldilocks situation. 5 furlongs was too short and couldn't keep up in the early stages. 7 furlongs was a smidgen too long. We're going to get the 6 furlongs hopefully hitting right in between the eyes. So I'm on the 4, and the 6 is just 2 A's. That's it.
I like Richie's Noble Girl, but I also like High Society Girl. This one ran against similar 2 starts back and finished second. Speed and fade situation that day off of the layoff. So again, I think can improve. I know that we're at the right spot for her because she was super competitive at that level. Last time out, we stretched her out, or so we cut her back. We jumped her up to the optional 40. And I think that's just way too tough for her. So the class chop back down, as well as being forwardly placed, means everyone else is going to have to catch her. So I like High Society Girl in there.
Yeah, I might be using that as backup as well. I'm just stealing all of your notes here before my column. So I like the plagiarism as public.
My question mark horse that I wanted to ask you about was Linda Loves Lace. I mean, broke her maiden, and then the next 2, they got salty on her. They were both on the grass, though. She broke her maiden on synthetic. But prior to that, like, all of her other maiden efforts were just, like, not great. So I'm not sure if we're finding a level that she's going to be good at, or if her maiden breaker was just a complete fluke of a day.
Yeah, I think with the odd restart here, a lot of the horses, when we see those June starts, weren't quite ready maybe. So Linda Loves Lace might have been the one that was ready to rock and roll. So I won't be using, nothing just drew my attention. Owen's tour guide in the race prior will kind of show us what that horse was made of, and if that one comes back and runs competitively right, that flatters this horse to back. But I don't know. I feel like
you hate her. It's okay, Drew. You don't hurt my feelings. Drew's like, she stinks.
Yeah, but watch her win, and then we all kind of say, well, yeah, it was a 4-year-old.
I know what you're doing. You're hedging, so you don't want to look bad if I beat you.
I will not be using Linda Loves Lace. How about that for the record?
All right, I might be. Not for sure. Depends if I single early or not. All right. And then the finale over at Woodbine, 7.5 on the inner turf course there for $7,500 claimers. And I liked 2 horses in here. Did you like more than 2 or less than 2?
I did. 4.
More than 2? 4 horses? Yeah. Holy cow. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Lay them on me.
All right. We're going to rapid fire these. So the most logical, number 5, Mizona, has been trying to close into neutral to slowish paces in the last few starts, and today looks to have a smidgen more pace on it. Not a ton, but just a little bit. And these attitude turn configurations should be able to help improve things and let those tiring front runners kind of come back to the field as they turn for home. So the nice inside draw should be ground saving, and Stein jumps aboard to hopefully wake up this runner. So the number 5, Mizona at 9-2. Also, number 10, Crumlin Time. I think it's been in great form of the last 2 starts and has a fantastic jockey upgrade. This does the 7.5 inner. The first turn comes up mighty quick. So I always lean towards some of the higher quality jockeys to make sure that they're in the right positions early, because I feel like those first couple 100 yards dictate the rest of the race for the horse, just in terms of ground loss and establishing position in those tight turns. The number 7, Canadian Magic at 12-1 will be a backup for me. I think it is coming up off of the lowest claiming level to face this bunch, but this one has done some of the best running over the turf. So if you kind of focus in on those smattering of races that are on the turf, this one had the long layoff 2 back, ran a bit too fast and was too short maybe, and last summer ran those competitive figures. So at 12-1, it's hard not to side with this one, especially when the workout tab shows there's some decent talent in the morning here. So maybe this 5-year-old mare is a late bloomer, and at 12-1, I'd love to have on my side. And then lastly is Post to Post at 3-1. I hate the post for Post to Post in the 11 hole, but I think is the best horse in this field. But again, that turn's going to come up so quick, and I could see this one being parked out 3 or 4 wide. So in order, 5, 10, 7, 11, and the 2 backups are those 7 and 11 for me.
Well, I was really worried that we were going to go through the whole field and not even have 1 horse in common, and you liked 4 and I liked 2. So I like Post to Post. I have a nice question mark by Canadian Magic. I was just really dubious the fact that never won a race at Woodbine, hadn't won a race last year, hasn't won a race this year. So all that made me a touch nervous. And then I like Stormy Summer, who I noticed you didn't talk about at all. Cut back in distance here. Also some class relief. A third shot off a layoff. I thought there were several things to like about this daughter of Sligo Bay.
It did make my short list here. And if I do recall correctly, I think it's just a little touch too short. I think it's going to get sucked into the pace and then just kind of get spit out a little bit at the end. So that's where I was a little leery about, but I see the argument, full stop.
Well, that means period, right?
Yeah, period. Yeah.
I like full stop better, but it like completely throws me for a loop. I'm like, well, wait, what? Oh yeah, that's right. It does sound cooler though once you like get used to saying it. I really need to work it into my vernacular.
Yeah, when I'm dealing with Pete and his typical fantastic English language speaking, I always learn something here from him. So I try and speak a little bit above my pay grade sometimes.
I like it. Keep using it. You gotta have like 2 or 3 in your pocket that you can just whip out, right?
Yeah, there was alacrity was the last one. There was a horse named Alacrity. We did a whole definition lesson, and we had to use it in a word the next week on our blog post. It was a great thing. It was a great initiative.
Oh, you know what? I wish I had done you first now, because we were talking about at Del Mar, there's a horse named Zydeco Mama, and there's actually a country song right now that mentions Zydeco bands. And I'm like, is that like a friendship bracelet? Like I couldn't think of what it was. So I like Googled it, and Zydeco is kind of like a Cajun style of music. And I'm like, well, that makes complete sense now, knowing like, you know, who their connections are and everything. But I had given that to like Scotty as like, do you know what Zydeco is? So I should have, if I'd done this first, I would have challenged him to next week, like come up with a Zydeco song or something like that.
Oh my gosh. We need to change the hashtag for this podcast to cultural experience as well. So horse racing and some culture as well. So
I like it.
I learned something new.
That's, you know what? That's what I say. It's every time you learn something new, you get a wrinkle in your brain. That's what my mom always told me. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I believe that. And sometimes I can just feel that little wrinkle growing. It's either that or it's gray hairs growing out. One of the two.
Yeah, my gray hairs are coming in as well. Hey, if you don't mind, I do have a couple spot plays on the earlier part of the card, because we do have the Georgian-based stakes in race 3. My spot play is the number 1, Meet the Soprano. I think has a good inside draw, the good speed, 2 long last out, should be an easy win for this first time over the grass for Cassie. So at 7-2, the number 1, Meet the Soprano, is my spot play. And then in the 5th race,
there's a maiden. Cassie texted you and was like, I can't believe you chucked my horse out. You better say something nice about me.
Yeah, actually, I've never met him. I'm sure he's a very nice person. Yeah. So I hope that all the shade that I throw at his Cassie runners in Woodbine never comes back to bite me at a dinner somewhere.
That's hilarious. Okay, then you said number 5 is your other spot play.
Race number 5. Maiden optional claimers going 5.5 furlong or 5 furlongs over the turf. I think the number 3, No More Fences, last out did not want to run a lick. 2-back had a bit of a trip and fits on that 2-back being over the turf again. And so I think with a little race luck, can definitely get it done against this group at 10-1. No More Fences, don't count that one out. So the number 3 is my other spot play in the earlier part of the card, which is a fantastic card. Let's hope the rain stays away from the Toronto area for those folks.
Can I just say that for someone to make a spot play a horse that's been beat 24, 7, and 15 in their last 3 outs, that's a bold move, my friend.
Hey, that's how we got to get paid. Contrarian. I heard you saying it earlier. So you got to be the contrarian.
Wow, Drew, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I got chills from that.
Yeah. So the full trip note as we pull it up is 2-back, broke slow and spotted the field a few lengths in the first few hundred yards, made the move to gain the position along the rail stalking, made a second move to snag the lead, and then faded late. So, right, I love seeing those make it 2 moves and they wrap up and say, you know what, we already emptied the tank here more or less. Tried to get back onto the turf at 7 furlongs and couldn't, got washed out. And clearly didn't want to do any of that running over the all-weather. So gets back on the turf today, and I think is going to be completely overlooked, and you'll get paid. Anything over 10-1, right? If we're getting into the 8-1.
We're getting into a horse that's been beat 50 lengths in their 3 starts combined, it better be over 10-1.
Crazier things have happened at Woodbine.
Sounds good. All right, Drew, thank you so much for joining me. Sorry, I'm not PTF. I don't have the cool hat. I'm not in the bunker, but I appreciate you spending the time with me again. Hey,
you're trumping the bunker completely, wholeheartedly in the paddock. So you keep rocking it.
Thanks, Drew. Appreciate it.
All right. Cheers.
Bye. Thanks again to both Drew and Scotty for joining me here on the In the Money Players podcast. I do want to remind listeners that there is a 2-day, $200,000 plus carryover into the Monmouth Park Pick 5 on Friday. It starts with race 2, which runs at 5:30 Eastern. To learn more about the sequence, you can read Eric Solomon's analysis over at inthemoneypodcast.com or sign up for the Plus service and hear our show on the topic. The best link to sign up is definitely going to be inthemoneypodcast.com/plus. So again, thank you so much to everybody. This is me just stepping in for Pete, who is, I don't even know where, but I do have my own show on the In the Money Network, and that's myself and Billy Koch. We host the Owner's Box every week. Generally, it comes out on Wednesdays, but that really depends on our guest schedule. It's all about horse racing ownership, the excitement of it, how to get into it, and any questions people might have. So I highly encourage a listen if you are, driving around, working out, cleaning the house, and need something to pop into your ears. Also, I want to thank our founding partners, the Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation, as well as 10 Strike Racing, and of course, everybody out there that is listening and watching this pod. This show has been a production of In the Money Media. Our business manager is the fantastic Drew Coatney. Our chief creative officer, the Mr. Fashion Plate, Jonathan Kinchin, and I, of course, am Michelle Yu. Thank you guys for joining. Hope to see you here again. Bye.